Hello and welcome to the video. Today we're going to be discussing a question that I've had for a very long time. You can see I have a few wands in front of me, but unlike this wand, if I hover over this wand, you can't really see the actual spells on here, and that's because the wand has too many spells. So as I'm sure you can see from the title, what we're going to be testing today is what would happen if I cast every single spell in Noita at once. So these are screenshots of the wands. The first one is all spells in the game, and the order is quite important. So they are ordered according to what you see on the progress menu. So this is the order that the spells are going to be casted in. Now that's very important because there's a few modifiers that could get in the way. The second wand is exactly like this wand, however I've removed these spells. The third wand has all modifiers and all projectiles only. So it's only modifiers and projectiles. And the fourth wand is only modifiers, every single modifier in the game, and we're going to test it with a single projectile. And then the last wand has all projectiles in the game, only projectiles. So before I cast these wands, I want you first to consider what's going to happen when I cast it. You can see before even casting it, there's so many effects on the wand at once that it's kind of crazy. So like I said, before I'm going to cast it, I want you to consider what's going to happen. A lot of you have correctly speculated on what's going to happen on the community post I released a while back. So just look at all of these modifiers, all of the projectiles, the Giga Black Hole, the Sea of Acid, Circle of Acid, all of these spells over here, all of the modifiers, spells to power, explosive projectile, what about spells to nukes? Every single thing is going to get cast. These wands have spells per cast 393, so you can guarantee that everything is going to be cast. And also, they have about 300,000 mana, so they can definitely, I think you could even see there, when I pick it up, that's 300,000 mana, so it can handle the mana of all the wands. Right. Like I said, before I'm going to cast it, I want you to consider what's going to happen. If you want to pause the video, you can. 3, 2, 1. So we have an explosion and some tentacles. It's hardly what you were probably expecting. You can see it again. Now, a lot of you have correctly identified Nolla as being a key spell. Nolla and Remove Explosion are causing all the spells to instantly detonate, and the ones that have explosions, like Nuke for example, it's telling you, no, you're not going to explode anymore. So you're going to instantly detonate and not explode. That's probably why you're seeing, okay, it's kind of boring. Now you might be asking, okay, where's all my circle of fire, circle of acid, circle of oil? I'll explain that a little bit later. But for now, I just want you to understand that Nolla and Remove Explosion are getting in the way. So we have a Giga Black Hole, but that's not really every single spell in the game. Just have some tentacles. We have one more spell of a Mega Black Hole, and we've ran out. So I'm going to keep casting it, and you see it's just tentacles. Now, like I said, the order of the spells is quite important. And I'm waiting for a certain spell to run out of charges before we can continue. Cast delay is quite long, so I have to wait. All you're getting right now is Eldritch Portal. I do have unlimited spells. However, even with unlimited spells, you can see certain spells do not become unlimited. I think it should be 2 or 3 more casts. Okay. Did you see that symbol just there? I don't know if we can show. Can't really show. What spell just ran out was mana to damage. Now I might be asking, why is that important? What does mana to damage do? If I look over here, what it says, if the wand has more than 50 mana, all mana that is over is converted into additional damage. Now, like I said, the order is very important. It's casting every single spell from bomb all the way, including Nolla and remove explosion, and then it hits mana to damage. When it hits mana to damage, it says, okay, how much mana does the wand have? About 300,000. It's going to take all of that mana, convert it into damage, and it's only going to leave 50 mana remaining. Now 50 mana is hardly enough to cover everything over here, and that is why you're not seeing any of these things, like the Sea of Lava, Sea of Acid, spells to nukes, all of those things. So now that mana to damage is run out of charges, because even with unlimited spells, it's still limited to 20 uses. Now that it's gone, we have all of these spells are now available. So I'm going to cast it. I've given myself polymorph immunity because there's a certain spell that might kill me. I'm going to cast it in 3, 2, 1. And you can see all the chaos that immediately ensues. Now it's still not as chaotic as you might have expected because, like I said, Nolla and remove explosion are still in effect. Right? Can I cast it again? And the game is calculating, processing. In order to make this video, the game has already crashed multiple times. We can see a few things happening. Lava explosion is taking into effect, and there's a lot of explosions. And I'm sure you recognize this tooltip from the end of everything. Now the end of everything is going to take a while to plague me. Let's just see what's going on here. So this is all now end of everything, which is why in our next wand I've removed the end of everything because it's kind of annoying. Mummy's bird, green matter or whatever. I've only casted that spell like 2 or 3 times in my whole life, so I'm not really sure what it does. The green lion. There's about 9 phases of the end of everything. I'm just gonna wait until all of them complete and then only continue. And this is why I gave myself polymorph immunity, because this spell over here, I think it's called, I don't know, magnesia, pink ruby or whatever. That's the spell I was worried about, because it ended my previous attempts and it polymorphed me. I am using Cheatgui and Spell Labs with the no death mode, because as you can see, I went down to 1 HP, so I don't die. I'm just gonna wait for this thing to complete and then we'll cast the other ones. So this was every single spell in the game at once. Now, as I said before, Nolla and remove explosion were maybe causing some problems. But now in the next one, we're gonna remove those. We get a great chest. Okay, Sampo means it's ended. Now let's go back to my arena. Most of it is destroyed. My wand previews, some of them got destroyed. Let's go back to the bottom. So now we have the second one, which has been labeled most spells. Like I said, it's every spell in the game. However, I've removed a few of them that are quite nasty. So if you go over back to my preview, these are the spells I've removed. So it's all of these spells. However, I've removed Nolla, remove explosion, the end of everything, invisible glimmer, and mana to damage, because these 5 were kind of stopping the wand from, reaching its full potential. And then when I casted that wand, the game just instantly crashed, because all of these black holes would just spawn 1,000 copies of black holes because of the upward lapa, downward lapa, all the lapas. So there's just an instant mess of black holes, and then the game crashed. Then after that, I removed the divide by spells. Even after removing black holes, it still crashed. Then I removed all the divide bys, and it was still crashing. And then I removed all the Greek letter spells. So this one here, called most spells, is every single spell in the game except these nasty spells. Because when you add these spells, the game just crashes. So let's give this one a test as well. It might be more chaotic or less chaotic. Remember, we don't have Nolla and remove explosion, which we're getting in the way. I'm gonna cast it. You can see the game is already frozen to kind of think and calculate on what it has to do. And there it goes. You can see the propane tanks and the summon explosive box and the not the giga, but the holy bombs. The upwards Lapa and downwards Lapa is causing them to spawn a ton of them. You can also see a few giga discs. And I think the game crashed. Let's see. Did it crash? Hello? Okay, it looks like we're still there. However, there's no sound. The game has just completely gone unresponsive. Okay. I can hear a lot of nukes. Houston, I think we've got a problem. Okay, I think we're recovering. I just heard a few animals die. I don't know what it was. You can see a lot of damage numbers on screen. I think that's coming from stuff like pollen and summon rock spirit. If you damage them, they show damage numbers. You can see a lot of worms. A lot of saw blades are coming from me at the moment. Some nukes. There's the side of my arena. I'm falling down a lot. What happened was it inflicted a lot of knockback on me, even though I have no more knockback. Somehow it inflicted a lot of knockback. So we'll just hope the game can recover. Like I said before, the game has crashed multiple times in trying to make this video. Let's hope it doesn't crash. I'm still falling very rapidly. The game doesn't want to realize that I want to fly upwards. I'm trying to fly upwards. Okay, we've got some momentum. So I'm gonna go back. You can see there's a lot of liquid that's coming from all the acid trail, water trail, rainbow trail. All of those are causing a lot of liquid and solids to spawn. We still have a few explosions and things going on. Let's go all the way up. Can I show you a preview? No. I'm doing this in the Noita dev, the debug mode, because without it, I can't show you the previews. So we have this mess. This is the only consistent part of this build. It leaves this mess behind. But other than that, every time you cast this wand, something different happens. So this is what we have left. The saw blade is going to plague me for the rest of the video, as you'll see. So I'm going to heal up, and then we'll cast the next wand. The next wand we have is called All Projectiles and Modifiers. And again, to show you the preview, if I go up here, all modifiers and projectiles. It's every single modifier in the game, and then every single projectile in the game. So I'm going to remove Nolla and remove Explosion, because like I said, those were kind of getting in the way. But now we don't have the Giga Black Hole or Mega Black Hole, all the static projectiles, all the material spells, we have none of those. We only have all modifiers in the game and all projectiles in the game. I'm going to give it a cast. And the game has to think a bit again. We have another nuke going off, some more tentacles. Let's hope it won't crash. It's thinking. really hope it don't crash so I can show you the actual one bolt. Okay, we've got some movement. I see some very big damage numbers. There's some like rainbow liquid going out there. That's the Uko shot, thunder charge I think it's called. That growling sound is a nuke that's in mid-air. We can see a few black holes. This is coming from, the reason why there's 8 of them is because you have a normal black hole and then you have a lava explosion, so when it dies it explodes. There's a little box cart of explosions. Somehow it's still alive even though all of these explosions are going on. See some electricity. Remember, this is every single spell being cast with every single modifier at once, except for Nolla and remove explosion. It sounds like I'm underwater almost. Then we have the nuke that was still in mid-air, it exploded. All of these liquids over here is coming from, like I said, the water trail, acid trail, all the trails, and then on top of that, when you have chaotic transmutation, it's transmuting these liquids into other liquids. So the frame rate is increasing. It looks like it won't crash, thankfully. But that gurgling sound, I don't know what's causing that. I don't recognize it. We still have a black hole moving here. So, like I said, I'm just gonna let it play. In trying to do this video, the game has crashed multiple times. It's like I had to tinker and test and figure out which spells to remove. With the Greek spells, it would just instantly detonate and just crash my game. That's the earthquake symbol. If you're wondering what this red circle is, it's the earthquake symbol. That's how slow the game is calculating. All of those explosions are happening before the explosion symbol even gets casted. I'm falling down. I really don't want to fall down. The purple is the glittering field getting cast. It's just a lot of color and madness. You must remember, every single spell has got tentacular on it. It's got lightning thrower, it's got fireball thrower, saw blade orbit, fireball orbit, plasma beam thrower, nuke orbit. Every spell in the game has got a nuke orbit on top of it. That's why I've got all this chaos. Over there on the top we've got the glittering field. A lot of thunder happening here. And blue tentacles. Okay. It is increasing the speed a bit, so I think it won't crash. I hope. The frame rate is increasing. You can see freezing vapor, which is probably a propane tank, exploding. And there's a lot of giga black holes I can see. They're still not expired. And we're back at the top with the Eldritch Portal madness. And you can see it's starting to swirl much faster. That's the giga black hole pulling everything together, which is a common theme with these wand bells. Giga black hole just takes the projectiles and runs away. Look at it go. It's so crazy. And there goes the nukes. When the screen flashes black like that, that's a nuke going off. Nuke is the only spell in the game that does that. I want to try and do the same swirly projectile effect with other things. Oh, another nuke went off. And of course I got hit with the tentacular and the stupid things. If you're wondering what's all this other chaos, like I told you before, the Soul Blade Orbit's gonna cause me chaos. Can you stop, please? Okay. So what I'm gonna do now is just delete the character. Like I said, I am in debug mode, so I can do that. And then... what? I thought that would have deleted all the stupid effects. Anyway, what happened was, because the spell had piercing, they were able to hit me, and when they hit me, they inflicted a debuff, which is called personal lightning thrower, personal tentacle thrower, personal fireball thrower, and personal lightning thrower. I think I said that one. Those spells hit me, and then I got the debuff. So I'm just restarting the game so that we can get a fresh slate, clean slate, new world, without all that chaos going on. Right, we're back. So that was every projectile and every modifier in the game. Now we have 2 spells left, all modifiers and all projectiles. So this is every single modifier in the game. I'm gonna top this one for now. Every single modifier in the game. Now I'm gonna remove Downwards Bolt Bundle, Octagonal Bond Bundle, Invisible Spell, Lola, and Remove Explosion. Like I said, these modifiers kind of ruin everything. If invisible, you can't see it. Lola just makes it instantly detonate. Remove Explosion removes the explosion, which is not really important for this. But these two make it that it just instant detonates into Downwards Bolt Bundles. So now we have a Splitterbolt with every single modifier in the game. So I'm going to cast it. And let's see what happens. I'm immediately at 1 HP. I see a lot of giga black holes. I don't know why. Why do they a giga black hole? What? I'm gonna restart again. But I'll cast it one more time for you to see. It's just a lot of chaos. I'm being hit with modifiers. It's a piercing. These one builds are so inconsistent. Every time I cast these ones, they do something completely different. I'm just gonna restart the game again. Then we'll cast it one more time, just to show you the inconsistency of it all. It's thinking and it's waiting. Noita crashed. Okay, we'll try that again. Let's just check I have my mods. Okay. Let's try that one more time. That was every single modifier in the game with a Splitterbolt. So we'll try that one more time and hope it doesn't crash. What was happening while you saw all of the stuff on me is because the modifiers, personal thrower, personal lightning thrower, and all of that was being detonated, and it was going on me because the spell had piercing shot. And remember, the spell also has boomerang, so it was coming towards me with piercing, soul blade orb, but all of those chaotic things. We're gonna cast it one more time. Every modifier in the game on a bubble spark. I'm gonna try and fly away from the spell. You can see how weird it's going. Glittering trail. It's leaving a... Look how it jumps. Now, the reason why it's jumping like that is because of... what's that modifier called? Phasing arc, which makes it hop. And obviously it has drilling shot, acid trail, and ground to sand. All sorts of chaotic things. I'm gonna cast it one more time. Again, bubble spark with every modifier in the game. Take 2. Look how it's moving. It moves in such a weird way, leaving behind a lot of stuff because it has the copy trail as well. All of this liquid is coming from acid trail, water trail, all of that other stuff. I'm gonna heal myself up a bit. And now we're going to cast the last wand, all projectiles. So this is every single projectile in the game without modifiers. Unmodified, every projectile in the game. So to show you, this is the last wand here, all projectiles. Let's give it a cast. It's the least buggy out of all of them because we don't have any modifiers causing problems. That teleport you just saw was return, and again Saw Blade is just causing me problems. I'm gonna give it one more cast. We ran out of Giga Nuke, but we still have a normal nuke and one more Holy Bomb. And I have to wait a few seconds while we're waiting for the wand to recharge. If you want to test this out for yourself, there's a mod on the Steam Workshop called All Spells. Right? It's a mod made by me. All of these wands you can test out for yourself. They'll spawn right in the beginning of the game. So you can test it out for yourself. It's called All Spells. In the Steam Workshop, you can download it and test these for yourself. Because obviously in normal Noita you cannot get wands like this. So every single projectile in the game, unmodified. Casting one more time. Some nukes. I see a lot of explosions. Earthquake, Path of the Dark Flame, and Saw Blade again coming to ruin my life. Again, with no death mode, I would be dead immediately. So that's the last of the 5 wands. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something. Again, if you want to test it out on the Steam Workshop All Spells mod, test it out for yourself. The other mods I'm using are Cheatgui and Spell Labs, just to give me the perks and in order to have no death mode so I don't die. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something. This has been a question that I have wanted to ask for a very long time, but I didn't have any modding skills. So now that I have the modding skills, kinda, I was able to do this for myself. So I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.